After Exordium, which is the intro of the album, we kick things off with Scorn Inside, a real traditional album opener with a straightforward song structure. I think it's a good song that gets you into the right mood and makes you curious about the rest of the album. With Scorn Inside, we also start our story about an ambitious doctor in a small town, early 1900s, with the rise of modern medicine. Our doctor thinks very high of himself, being mentally superior, and considers himself the savior of the sick patients. In his mind, he despises them a bit, but he doesn't show it. The Infection is the third track on the album, and it's a real fast-paced banger. Story-wise, our doctor encounters a patient with symptoms he hasn't seen before. During a procedure, the patient starts coughing up blood, and the doctor gets some in his face, infecting him with the disease. He can't believe he slipped up and got infected. His pride is hurt, so he keeps it a secret. This song has everything you would expect from a good Aeterna song. Fast verses, heavy chorus, and a melodic bridge with a good groove. Determined is the last song we finished writing and the second single we released. It's a very furious song with good melodies and fast drums. The doctor is mad at himself for allowing himself to get infected by someone he thinks of as inferior. In his search for a cure, he tries different already known medicines, all without success. He then realizes he is infected with a new unknown virus, which he is determined to cure. For this song, I really had fun recording vocals, getting into character and spewing out those lyrics. I used different techniques to make the song more interesting. The framework of this song consists of riffs that have been written many years ago, laying around, aging, like a fine wine. Because of where we are in the story, we needed this song to be a bit darker, so the riffs finally had a purpose. The doctor hasn't been able to find a cure known to mankind, so he has secretly started human experiments in search of a cure for himself on his patients. The first experiments fail, and he starts thinking about alternative methods, like amputations and electrifications. His morals and values slowly start to shift to a darker place. This mid-tempo song might not be something we do very often, but this is one of my favorite tracks on the album. I really like the groove of the chorus, and the song has previously been released as a single. The story of victims in abandonment picks up right after the previous track. The doctor, he gets a bit more desperate in search for a cure. He sets up a lab in an old abandoned building with all kinds of facilities for the conduction of his experiments. The fact that the building has holding cells and an incinerator within helps him a lot. He crosses a new line by going out at night searching for new subjects. His victims are lowlifes, drunkards and whores who won't be missed. He sedates his victims with an injection before taking them to his lab. Morbid Transition is a short, calm instrumental track and is basically the calm before the storm. The storm here being God Mode, which is the fastest song on the album. The doctor is now infecting his subjects with his own blood and then tries to cure them with a variety of experiments. Extreme heat, extreme cold, amputations. So far, all experiments fail and he burns the bodies in an incinerator. In secret, he enjoys this feeling of power and has lost all empathy for his subjects. This was one of those songs where I had a lot of fun recording vocals. I tried to keep them as raw as possible because that fits this song best. The One was the first single we released and was also the first song that was completed. The rest of the tracks weren't ready or even written for that matter, so we recorded this song much earlier than the other tracks. After many failed experiments, the doctor is back on the street, looking for new subjects. While he is abducting a whore, he gets caught by a drunken sailor man who happens to wander around in the alley. This drunken sailor man fits the profile of a subject perfectly. The doctor doesn't hesitate and overpowers this man, injecting him too with a sedative. He now has two subjects for his wicked experiment. This song has some very strong melodies and is a typical Aeterna song, one of my favorites. The Trick is a very important track on the album. This is the song with the plot twist that we all like to see. Waking up in his cell, the abducted man hears a lot of screaming. It are the screams from another man on which the doctor is performing a brutal experiment. When the screams stop, the doctor seems agitated and walks towards the door of the cell. Though still sedated, the man sees the doctor is very sick and he asks what's wrong. After the doctor explains his illness, the man hands the doctor a vial with a medicine from a faraway land he picked up on one of his journeys sailing across the world. While calling him number 17, the doctor takes the vial and examines it. The doctor discovers that this is the cure he has been looking for. He decides to perform one final test on the man that provided the cure. He straps him to the table and injects him. The title track of the album is a recap of all the experiments the doctor performed on his subjects. The doctor thinks he has found a cure and injects subject 17 with it, not knowing this medicine contains a high dose of adrenaline that strengthens subject 17, so much that he is able to break free from his restraints. This was one of the first songs that was completed, and I knew from the start this was going to be the title track. The verses have a very thrash metal feeling, which I like a lot. When recording vocals, I really had to push myself because those verses are very fast. So check it out, I hope you like it. This song turned out to be the perfect way to end the album. I had the main melody laying around for quite some time, but never found a good way to make a song out of it. When we were writing the story, it all came together. The last song of any album should always have something special. For me, the combination of the melodic bridge and the up-tempo chorus really do the trick. The last part of the story begins with a struggle between the weakened doctor and subject 17. The doctor realizes he played and he lost. In his weakened state, he is no match for subject 17. After subject 17 easily kills the doctor, his attention shifts to a cry for help. It is the woman he tried to protect a few nights ago in the alley. After staring at her for a few seconds, he walks up to her and he slashes her throat. Who is this man? Where did he come from? Could this drunken sailor, this nobody, be anyone less than the presumed lost serial killer, Jack the Ripper? The end.